Welcome everybody to another edition of TEW 2020. It is time for a sort of reboot of a series here as Major League Wrestling enters 2006 and it also enters a new era, the Univision Fusion era, as let's just go to the important stuff as broadcasting deals. Yes, we now have a deal with Univision for MLW Underground, which is going to be renamed MLW Fusion like it was in real life. Also because Fusion kind of works as a show on Univision for obvious reasons. However, we do have like one more show to do on the Sunshine Network, which I'm not going to show just because it'll basically be just a pure recap show with just matches on there that have to be matches. But what I'm going to do is this is also a start of a new. Basically, I'm restarting the numbering at number one. Is I'm going to go over sort of the situation where we're at, title history, stables, all that fun stuff, and actually clean up the roster live on stream, live on video, just to go over what is this new era of MLW looks like as we head in. Also, as another thing, we're also moving up MLW to basically be a 1.5 hour show. So we're going to go ahead and modify this to 1 hour 30 minutes, and there we go. Also taping one show at a time. Just get rid of it. And then we're also modifying this TV show to be named MLW Fusion, and I'll fix the background in a later date. There you go. So, as far as that goes, let's first go over our basics. So, basically, in the past year or so, which is, of course, after we started the save, but, a decent enough past that's good to look at things. So, we started at Great Lakes at 19. We're up 2 points there. Mid-Atlantic, we started at 22, now we're at 32, because that's where we had TV. Mid-South is at 18, now we're at 21. Midwest is at 12, now we're at 14. New England is at 17, now we're at 21, mostly due to spillover. Northwest is still at a 5. Southeast, we're from a 45 up to a 53. And Tri-State, we're from a 42 to a 52. And Southwest, we're from a 15 to a 17. Now, to become a medium, again, we have to need to be either 59 popularity in Southeast plus 35 in either the Great Lakes, Mid-Atlantic, or Mid-South. So unfortunately, that Tri-State number doesn't really help us at the moment, which is why we're sort of focusing on getting the Mid-Atlantic up, which should be hopefully soon. So I'm thinking within the next 6 months, we'll probably be up to medium, which is why I feel okay realistically getting this Univision deal because we're, in theory, a company on the rise. Overall, like I said, and then, just to go over things as far as our titles. So, start out, our King of Kings is a tournament that we just did at the last show in December 2005, which Loki won in a 4-way match, which I think if we show, Loki defeats Sanjay Dutt, Matt Sydal, and Verno in a 30-minute Iron Man match to win the King of Kings. And then, so there's the MLW Junior Heavyweight Champion, which started with, let's see here, if we go to defenses, Sanjay Dutt had the title to start the save. He lost to Loki in May of 04. Loki held it till September of 04, had 3 defenses. Amazing Red won the title in September, dropped it to November to Averno, who held it from November 04 to February 05. He had 3 defenses in that time. And then Dutt held the title for another 2 months, which was, just winning the title, then dropping the title to Matt Sydal. Held the title from April to August. He had 2 defenses, and then Delirious has held the title since the end of August. Then we have the Global Crown Tag Team Championship, which started out with CW Anderson and Simon Diamond, who basically held the titles through. And then once CW left, Simon Diamond and D'Lo won the vacant titles in a match for basically against Nigel and Roderick. They held the titles for basically 3 months, and they dropped the title to the Maximos, who held the title for 3 months, who dropped the title to the Heavy Hand Pitbulls, who held the title for 2 months, and then Strong Hero held the titles from December to August of 05, and then Shane and Gerald Clark have held the title since then, as are also former NWA Tag Team Champions. Then there's the big belt, the MLW World Heavyweight Championship. So, it started, let's see, as far as the start of the save, it started with Steve Karuna being the champion, and he held the title from June 2003 till November 2004, so a little over a year. And then Loki held the title from November 04 to October 05. And then Morishima won the title in October. So, So, there you go. Now, next I'm going to go over the roster, and this is when we're basically going to do a check of everybody and if they're actually an important part of the future here in Major League Wrestling. Because, we're over the roster limit by 35. Obviously, like, everybody goes over the roster limit. Especially because, we should be hitting medium pretty soon. So let's start from the top. So major stars is Averno. He's been the guy. He's gone up from 44 to a 57 in the Great Lakes, from a 50 to a 50 in the Southeast, from a 44 to a 50 in the Tri-State, And yeah, he's like one of actually our top heels, and honestly, like probably a big thing is our sort of I could say in theory he's a big part of why we actually won, got the Univision contract. Next up is Delirious, our current MLW junior heavyweight champion. He's basically from in the mid 40s to mid 50s, depending on where we're at. And he's also somebody else who's gotten real over since he's got started here. Southeast went from 43 to a 56, and same thing in the tri-state. I guess those are 2 points. Now ECMO is interesting because honestly, like if you look at his match history in MLW, which we'll check out here real quick, it's basically like not that much because he's not been around that much in both in 05 and 04. Like so, when he's here, he's like he does really well. But the question is like, is he worth keeping around? And I think for the moment he is, but honestly, at some point I'll have to figure out like if I'm actually going to push him as a top guy and actually try to sign him once we become a meeting company to like sort of a more permanent contract or keep him around. So Homicide, also yeah, same thing. He's gotten like yeah, he sort of like hit a wall because he hasn't been around that much. He's jumped 10 points in the tri-state, which is good. Homicide again, he's another guy who's basically he's gotten real over because he's done real well in TNA. And also, he randomly became the NWA World Champion, which is interesting. So honestly, like his bump in popularity, like I won't even make much credit for. Like maybe in the Southeast where he's gone up 5 points, but in with other places, like yeah, he's just been like wrestling in every other indie. But like still, I gotta keep around. He's decent, and everything. Like he won't be a top tier guy for us, but he'll be a solid like upper mid card presence. He can feud with the main eventer. He can get a random title shot, etc. Loki is sort of our guy. I mean, he's legitimately our guy because we signed him to a exclusive written contract because we were warring with TNA, I believe, or outreach for him. So we paid all the money. So popularity wise, he's gone up in the Southeast from a 50. So he's basically same in Southeast. Tri-state he's up to a 62. So yeah, I mean, and also he's been our longtime world champion and world junior heavyweight champion. Like he's sort of like our guy at the moment, even though like he's sort of goofy in real life, but what can you do? He's a wrestler. Next up is Matt Seidel, who of course like turned heel near the end, through this year. Now has Val as his manager and has done decent. Like could be a top heel for the future. Like again, in the Southeast he went 46 to a 53, Tri-State 43 to a 58. So good stuff. And yeah, he of course will keep him around. Nigel, babyface. Really good. Like sort of has been the number 2 babyface in a way behind Low Key for a while here. Mid Atlantic he's Southeast 47-55. Tri-State is 42 to 56. So he gets solid stuff, and he's really set for the future here. So Simon Diamond. Diamond's interesting because like he's actually really good. Like he's actually probably a little, I don't want to say overrated, but he's a lot better in the game than I think it was in real life. So, but I mean, he's still basically Steve Caruna's number 2 in the Extreme Horsemen. And yeah, from Southeast 50 to 55, Tri-State 49 to 55. And honestly, like I sort of either need to figure out a character for him or something like that, just so he can actually work. So next up is Steve Karuna, who's kind of interesting because I'm going to pull up some information here. So popularity wise, like just because of like the way he's been booked, like he isn't that super over like in other places because he only really works in MLW in the US. So like Southeast 48 to a 52, Tri-State 39 to a 48, despite being world champ for most of that. Now here's the main reason. So we look at personal info. So no, whoops, where is it? Injury skills. Yeah, so yeah, he had a broken leg in like those are just. He had a broken leg in 04, which knocked him out for maybe 9 months. And then he tore his rotator cuff in September 05, which knocks him out for 9 months. Which means, like, even though he's been with us for a while, like, if we look at his match history, like, again, yeah, he basically has had he came back in July and he got injured again in September. And that's after getting injured at the end, basically getting injured at the end of December, which is interesting. So, yeah. How long he can be a top heel is interesting because like he is really good, but he is getting older and he is injury prone seemingly. So, but he's probably like he is our best mic guy by a long shot. But yeah, it's just interesting how long we can go with him. Then we got basically newcomer Takeshi Morishima, using his evil Japanese badass gimmick. He's our current world champion. He's Morishima in the mid 2000s, so he's still really good. And pop wise, he was already decently popular. Knowing from a 38 to a 57 in the past, and 38 to a 56 in the past year. Of course, that's not all us. This is one of those. This is one of those mods where all the Japanese companies can get US TV, which is sort of annoying, but whatever. It helps us a little bit. Then last is sort of like our one true underdog booking story is the Amazing Red. So he's he's been really good. And he's a high flyer. He doesn't charismatic, but he has really good, great matches. Match history. Look at all. I mean, if you again helped a lot by being in, but yeah, look at all those. Not all those really good matches. And even in 2004, he was having really good matches by being not that over. And pop wise, of course. Oops, that's popular. Again, a lot of this is TNA, but from 49 to a 54 and 44 to a 554 in Tri-State is good. So all these guys are obviously still hanging around because they're all good. Now, even starting with this next level is people who I'll have to make some choices about. So Chris Hero, Chris Hero just got turned on by Roderick Strong, who we'll go over in a minute, and he's actually getting decently over, is a solid wrestler, and yeah, he's 35-52, 38 to a 57. So he's actually decently over, and if he was and hopefully this nationwide TV contract will help get him over in basically the rest of the country. So yeah, he'll be around. Darrell Clark is a part of Featured Attraction and Michael Shane, who are a random team created by the AI who ended up being NWA Tag Champions, who I decided to push as well. So they're both solidly over, and since they're Tag Champs, I'll keep them around. Now, Junior Fat 2 is sort of my first real interesting pick here because I brought him over from the WWE once he left that company, just basically as somebody who to basically as be a really over job to the stars, put over ECMO. But the thing is, he's already kind of he's already dropped in the Southeast, he's dropped 9 points. In the tri-state area, he's dropped 9 points. So the question is how much longer should I keep him around? And he's already unhappy about he's actually irritated after being left off some TV shows. So actually, what I'll do, I'll just give him a bonus real quick. Because yeah, that doesn't matter. So actually, yeah, I opened this. I'm going to keep him around just for now, at least for the first run, just so he can be a guy from TV that people would know if they are changing the channels. Maybe another 3 or 6 months, I might let him go, but we'll go from there after that. Ray Gordy is the leader of my Dynamite and Daisy's faction. He's actually gotten decently over really quick. Again, a lot of this is just not me, but also, well, actually, it's actually mostly MLW, I would say, in this case. And yeah, he went from a 31 Southeast to a 48 and from 26 to a 43. So, he'll be actually, he's one of my rising heels, and he'll be important to have around, so obviously he's around. Now, Sanjay Dutt is interesting because, I don't have the best character for him. He hasn't actually, done that much in the company. He's sort of, been on the second tier, but he is relatively cheap, and he's doing well enough in TNA and ROH that it might be decent just to keep him around, just to possibly use him as a jobber to this, either a mid-card, top mid-card babyface feuding for the junior heavyweight title, or going up to the top of the card. Oops, and ignore that pop-up. So yeah, I mean, again, this level of guys, I wasn't thinking I would get rid of anybody, but there you go. Now we go to the more real interesting stuff. These are people who are over, but who I might not have plans for, or people who are not quite over enough, but who I still want to push. So, first, Jason Cross. So he's somebody who I might get rid of just because he has great matches. Here, I'll again MLW. He has really good matches, but popularity and even popularity wise, he's kind of not gained anything. And he has no charisma and no mic skills. He's the very definition. We talk about vanilla midgets. He's a vanilla midget. He can fly real good, but that's about it. So honestly, and also he has an awful gimmick. He hasn't done a lot. I mean, the more I say it, I think the more I'm going to make the decision. Ah. I think I'm going to make the decision to actually let him go. Because I can't really like use him as a pure jobber. I can't push him, and like I don't have any ideas for him. So goodbye. Jerry Lynn is somebody else who's interesting. So he's currently injured with a torn quad. He's obviously, since he got injured, has been stuck at his overness. But he's also just old. And again, if we look at him, his profile, if we look at his skills, he also had a broken collarbone. But yeah, he's been out of action since basically, what is it? June of 05, which ironically screwed up the feud he was having. So basically what happened is Lynn and Karuna were feuding near the end of December 04. Then Karuna got injured, so I couldn't do the pull off for their feud after he lost the title. And then, yeah. Yeah, what happened is Lynn got injured, so I had to give Loki the title. And then Karina got injured just as Lynn was coming back, so I had to put off their feud. But then Karina came back, Lynn got injured again, and now as Lynn is coming back again, Karina isn't injured again. So it's a mess, and honestly, he's a good road agent, which is the real reason why I'm keeping him around. JJ Dillon, good road agent, good like promo guy, so no reason not to keep him around. Just Incredible was literally just brought in to be a guy for the Extreme Horsemen, and yeah, he's going to stay around just for that reason. Kevin Kelly is our announcer, so obviously he's hanging around. Lightbringer is interesting because he's just sort of failed. Like honestly, like again, if we go to MLW stuff, like I tried to push him at the beginning of the year and even get him over to a tag title, but he never really jumped up. And it seemed like if you look at his popularity, like he did jump up a lot here, but then he's sort of been stuck there. So I think he's somebody else who we are going to get rid of. Well, okay, because there's somebody who's not as old who I can, So Roderick Strong is interesting because he just literally turned heel on Chris Hero, his former partner, and yeah, he's getting decently over, so he's obviously going to be hang around. He went from 41 to 51 in the Southeast, and more importantly, he's gone up to like 19 to 31 in the Northwest, from like 9 to 31 in New England, so that's all good as well. So yeah, he's obviously staying around. Sabu is another interesting one because like he's over, but like, Like I think I have an idea for him, which is why I'm going to keep him around. But like, he's another one who I might look at 6 month because I basically bring him on for like, he's famous to people who might watch TV, old ECW fans and such in theory. So he's going to hang around for at least now. And last for on stars is Vedder, the future Flash Flanagan, Cobain of the Disciples of New Church. And he's actually done decently well as Rick Gordy's tag partner, so he'll be hanging around as well. So again, only a couple people, but we're getting. So here's where the real weak chaff and everything will be happening. So Tozawa, we literally just hired. He's really good, so he's hanging around. Chad Collier is somebody who we're getting rid of. We can bring him. Honestly, we can just bring in people like him to job on TV without an issue. So goodbye, Chad. Ezekiel is the former MVP who just got here, so he'll be hanging around, obviously, and I have long-term plans for him because he's really good already. Iceberg is interesting because I actually like in real life he was in NWA Wildside. He was a really solid worker and really good big guy, but I don't honestly he's somebody who more TV time might help because I can actually get him on TV more. So I'm going to use Jack Evans, TJ Wilson, basically all the Heart Foundation are being kept around, but they're also somebody who I'm going to look at in 3 to 6 months to see if they're getting better and more over once they're on TV more, and then going from there in the long term. Joel and Jose, they probably won't be as pushed as big as they were before, up to tag titles levels, but they'll be around and they'll be given TV time to get over. Mana is basically around just because ECMO and Samu are around. Michael Modest, again. Modest is, here's the thing. Modest is not that over. Well, he's decently over, but I haven't pushed him. He's furious at booking. He's kind of expensive. And again, I don't really care about money that much, but I want to be somewhat realistic. I think he's somebody who I'm going to actually try to decently push for the next couple months, and then see if that improves his momentum, and then go from there 2 or 3 months. Necro Butcher is honestly Like, he was fun to bring in, but yeah, I'm not going to use him, so get rid of him. Nikki Rocks is part of Diamond Daisies, and actually, she's part of the long-term changes I'm going to make on TV. Because I'm going to attempt to create at least a small women's division just to see how well it works on TV. Reeves, of course, the future Ryback, is part of Diamond Daisies, and he's a big guy, so he'll be getting a push. Razor and Romero are two guys who I kind of feel bad about, like, under pushing recently because, like, they were decent, like, top heel tag champs, but now we have Feeder Attraction, we had the Extreme Horsemen, so like these guys were dropped down to the mid card. I'm going to give them some shots on TV just to see what to do. So Shaggy Udope and Violent J. So here's the thing. They came in, they did their job. They jobbed to Diamond Daisies, so they're both guys that thank you, goodbye. So goodbye to the ICP, and there you go. Now we're going to do the unimportant people. So this is where we might like actually get rid of some people. So Bobby Krantz and Puma are entering together, both like two guys who I have not pushed well. So like again, if you look at that's popularity, well yeah, even we like track that, he's basically stayed the same. And if we look at his match history in MLW, he's been a complete jobber. So I think honestly, realistically, I think it's time to let both of them go, and I have to bring some new people in. So what I'm going to do is we're going to go ahead and release Puma and release Bobby Krantz. Oh, right. Well, guess what? You're somebody who's getting released as well. That press phone, she was a random manager, and she only kept her job in the first place because she got in a relationship with Bobby Krantz. So now they're all gone. Dragon Kid obviously is a new guy, and he'll be pushed well. TV, Harry Smith, one guy who is getting rid of is Pete Wilson. I'm sorry, you're 20. I haven't used you in like a year, so yeah, goodbye. Let's see here. Joker is somebody who's literally just brought in the team with Lightbringer, so goodbye. M.20 is actually a decent jobber. Sorry, the future Matt Cross. Matt Bartel, he has a good gimmick, so I'll keep him around just for that. Natty Nerd is, of course, is part of the Heart Foundation group. Norman Smiley is, I'm letting him go because I just use him as a pure jobber, and there's no point to him. Samu is just here because he's Samoan and friend with everybody. Charlie Madison is part of that ID I have, and then Teddy Hart and Val. So that's our current, that's the brand new slimmed down 44 member roster. I'll probably be adding and also Ricky Marvin is somebody who will be added. I'll be bringing a couple people, new people on, but not this is basically our roster. So if we look at creative wise, franchise players, Nigel's actually number 1, Simon Diamond is number 2, Loki is number 3, Matt Seidel is number 4, Steve Carino is number 5. So that's actually interesting that Simon is above Carino, but that's probably just because Carino's injured and he's a little bit less over. Next big things is Michael Shane. Hot prospects is Nikki Rocks, Reese, Harry Smith, Tozawa, and Natty. So sort of you'd expect. Talk number 1 is Steve Carino, 2 is Simon Diamond, 3 is Michael Shane, 4 is Junior Fat 2, 5 is Just Incredible, so basically Extreme Horseman plus some people. Showstoppers is Michael Shane, Matt Seidel, Chris Hero, Nigel McGuinness, and The Amazing Red. Ring Generals is Chris Hero, Nigel McGuinness, Steve Carino, Homicide, and Michael Motta, so who you expect. Who's Hot is ECMO, Homicide, Nigel, Vernos, Carino. Who's Not is Strong and Sabu. Strong we need to sort of turn around and push. And Hidden Gems is, again, who you sort of expect. Backstage-wise, our backstage is great. Merchandise, best, we're still at a, okay amount, but Junior Fatu, Loki, Amazing Red, Nigel are top guys. Teams-wise, we got Feeder Attraction, Heart Foundation, Stampede Bulldogs, Fan Pit Bulls. Hero and Strong are now no longer active. And yeah, that's about it. Stables, we got Diamond Daisies, Simone Family, Extreme Horsemen, and the Heart Foundation. So there you go. And event-wise, so here's the thing, is I am going to be redoing the calendar, but basically it's going to be every 2 months. It'll be every 2 months or so will be a super show, which will also be on, which once our current broadcasting contracts run out, because the Sunshine contract is up in 3 days, but these are up in basically 2 months. So basically, I'll be like waiting them out and then restarting the events on Univision as well as sort of like special events. So once that happens is when I'll redo the schedule and I'll do that. So basically, like our random shows, like our random events, like places like the Mid Atlantic or the Tri-State will be gone because that'll be part of our regular like TV schedule. But as far as like actual events that'll be probably kept around, like again, we'll probably be going to a pure 6 event a year along with TV. So I'll determine like what's important. I'll be maybe adding some new events that'll just all be determined at a later point. But yeah, so I think this is a good start to things. I'm going to be, so the first show, the first video after this will be actually the new MLW Fusion, including some storylines will be continuing, some storylines will be basically shut down because they've been paid off. But let's just go over where we are at the moment, just to sort of go over things. So to go over, we had Delirious defeating Tozawa to retain the World Junior Heavyweight title. So because it's not quite time to put over Akira. Diamond Daisies going over Ezekiel and ICP, like I said. Stampede Bulldogs defeating Incognito, Dragon Kid, Van Peebles, and SAT in a 4-way match. Basically, sort of setting them up as the possible next contenders. Seven Diamond making an open challenge and then defeating Junior Fatu. Nigel McGuinness defeating Homicide, begin to end their little mini feud after they both lost in the King of Kings. Future Traction defeating Hero and Strong to retain the titles, and Strong turning on Hero. And then Loki winning the 30-man Iron Man 4-way match with Sanjay Dutt, Matt Sydal, and Averno. And then in the main event, Hiroshima defeating the underdog challenge of the Amazing Red. The Extreme Horsemen then trying to beat down Amazing Red, but Loki, Hero, and Nigel making the save. So that sort of sets up like Loki, Hero, Nigel, and Amazing Red as sort of our top 4 baby faces against the Extreme Horsemen. Maybe War Games in the near future, maybe not. It depends on like how hot the actual storyline is. I think because I'm not going to do an actual show yet because we got to go over the we got to go do the last show of Underground, then come back and actually do the Fusion. So what I'll probably do is do the first basically month of Fusion in our next video. But yeah, that's it for now. So if you got any other ideas on who to possibly sign in 2006, go ahead and add them. Throw them down if you want. That's it for now. So if you enjoyed this, go ahead and give it a like. Comment below what you're enjoying and not enjoying. And subscribe to the channel for lots of TEW 2020 content like this. My WCW 2004 series now heading towards Wrestle War. My WCW 1994 series now heading out of towards Spring Stampede. And my WWE 2013 series, where I've used a random generator to give me challenges like really push Darren Young and really don't push Seth Rollins and make Miz the Undertaker's opponent at the next WrestleMania. But that's it for now, so talk to you later, and adios. Have a good one, and welcome to the new era of Major League Wrestling, the Fusion Era.